Broadcasting live from our studios here in Accra, this is The Pulse with me, Blessed Sogah. Coming up this afternoon, uncertainties about who will present the 2023 budget to Parliament with a vote of censure hanging around Finance Minister Ken Oforet's neck and pressure from within his own party for another person to present the statement. We have details as Minority Leader HMS Sabonsu says the decision rests with President Akufo-Addo. We'll get you the latest from Parliament shortly. Frustration and anger on the Accra-Kasoa highway as commuters are caught in massive gridlock following heavy downpour, which has resulted in silt covering a section of the busy highway.
Okay, let's say Mall, the Mall side.
You are the West Hills Mall now.
West
so
Hills
you
Mall,
walk from Tetegu to the West Hills Mall.
Yeah, so I'm not coming to
almost about an hour. You've been walking for almost an hour.
And scholars stand up at Greek Ministry's Planting for Food and Jobs market with patrons saying they want the ministry to make food items available for purchase. We'll get you the very latest. This is The Pulse on the JoyNews channel, and more than 9 million SIM cards are facing a possibility of deactivation by the end of November. We'll bring you details of the latest statement we're receiving from the Communications Ministry. The Pulse, as always, is brought to you by Global Communities Dignity Affordable Safe Sanitation. This afternoon, we are live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 144, also streaming on YouTube, and all of our social media handles is at JoyNews on TV. Please stay for details. This is JoyNews, independent, fearless, credible, and journalism. And patrons at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture's Planting for Food and Job market say they want the ministry to do more to reduce the price of food. They have displayed some civil servants who brought some of the plantains from the ministry's market to JoyNews. They do not see any differences in the prices between what they buy from the open market and what the ministry sold today. But the ministry says its work is in progress and that they will be on course to achieve the objective of setting up the market. Richard Kojenyako was there and now reports.
A lot of the people are trooping in here. Today, it is only plantain that they are selling, and they say that they are selling it to the civil servants that are around. They started this market around 9 o'clock, and people have been trooping in to buy their stuff. The structure is like this. You come, you identify the food item, and then you are issued with a card, and then after that you take the card that you've been issued with to a table where you go and effect payment, and then you are issued with a receipt. A lot of people are reacting to what they are witnessing here. Let's try and then speak with a few of them. Let me speak with you. You just bought a bunch of plantain. Tell me, how much did you buy it for?
I bought it for 20 cedis. Yeah.
Where do you work?
Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
What would you say about this?
To me, it's a good initiative, although, yeah, but since I heard that it's a pilot, we're expecting that in the next bunch that will come, the price will really go down a bit.
Oh, but you are getting a bunch for 10 cedis, 15 cedis, 20 cedis, 25 cedis. When you get to the market, how much do you buy them?
Okay, I can say that last week, for instance, I bought one for 15 cedis in the market, and then it was reasonable about the size. So I can't see any big difference from what is in the market and then what is here too. This
is the spokesperson of the Ministry of Agric. Now, have your expectations been met?
Well, we've started, and I'll say that the response has been very positive. Just that the big truck is still on the way. There was
why has it delayed?
Yeah, the information gathered is that there was an accident between Apedra Suhum area, and the road was actually blocked, so it had to reroute through Chebi to access. So we're hoping that it will be here shortly.
But let's look at the food items that you have displayed here. Are we only expecting to see plantain?
Yes, so for today we are expecting to see plantain. Well, we said it's a pilot planting for food and jobs market. Plantain from the western north, As we saw, the first pickup came. It's already gone. If you go to Efo Sandalapa, we also have the local rice that is there. We are scaling up on Tuesday. We are getting yam, we are getting some plantain and some cocoyam also available. So it's a pilot phase, and as we move on, lessons learned will inform how we can do it better.
Subscribers had completed the SIM card registration in terms of linkage and the completion of the biometric processes. Almost 70% of these registrations have been completed. One key reason why some of those who have linked their phone numbers to the Ghana cards have been unable to complete the bio capture stage, which is stage 2, is because they've used people's cards to link their numbers. And so because of this, the Ministry of Communication is indicating that it includes vendors who use their cards and of others without the knowledge or consent of the card owners. So their inability to complete phase 2 attests to the robustness of the authentication process designed into the SIM registration architecture. It will flash out all fakes, and of course you cannot use someone else's Ghana card to register your SIM. So despite the ample opportunity afforded all to complete the registration of their SIM cards, some who have the Ghana cards and have also begun the process have failed to complete the registration, and due to that the ministry has decided to actually block all the SIM cards. And so here's what we know, that if you're having any challenges, you need to contact the NCA or requisite network operator if you of course require any form of assistance, and then a further announcement will be made shortly on the measures to accommodate those who genuinely do not have their Ghana cards once the ongoing consultations have been completed. And then the ministry and the minister is indicating that I would like to applaud all players in the SIM registration exercise value chain on the achievements attained so far. And so issues relating on other consumer protection measures, we do know that at the inception of the SIM card registration exercise, we announced the maximum number of SIM cards that can be registered by an individual is 10 SIM cards. All citizens and residents are hereby advised to check the number of SIMs registered to their Ghana card at the end of November when the facility will be activated. And to ensure that they retain the mandated number of SIM cards, any additional registration as indicated above, the mandated number of 10 will be deactivated. Now, MNOs as well equally to properly categorize the registered corporate SIMs as part of the exercise. And here's what we know, that the government is also working to provide an enabling environment for all those who are going through the process to assess and use digital platforms by fostering the development of these technologies, including SIM-enabled ones. And the minister is urging the support the registration initiative and for all to cooperate with authorities to ensure its success for collective good. And that's signed by Esla Osuekofu, Sector Minister. Let's bring in, of course, my colleague Samuel Kojo-Brace, who's also monitoring another development for us. Attempts are being made to beat down the price of the most consumed staple, rice. And of course, there's a festival underway. My colleague Samuel Kojo-Brace joins us on Zoom with details of this festival. Brace, what can you report?
Well, so today, rice producers in Ghana met in Accra at the Efo Sandland Park to, celebrate themselves for what they've been able to do. You know that rice consumption has increased in Ghana. We consume a lot of rice. For example, our consumption alone jumped from somewhere around 987 to 1.45 million metric tons in 2020, which means that a lot of Ghanaians are eating rice. So per capita, every individual consumed around 45 kg of rice per annum. That's a lot of it. we have a challenge where local rice producers are not able to produce enough. So it was a meeting to take stock of what have been done and to see what needs to be done to improve production. We should realize that between 2008 and 2020, paddy rice production, which is the rice we grow in Ghana, increased from 302,000 metric tons in 2008 to 987,000 metric tons. That's close to 1 million metric tons of rice that we produced in Ghana. It means that the production of rice is really on the increase in Ghana. So today, rice farmers are to need to see the way forward, what can be done to improve it, because if there is that opportunity for us to consume more rice, then it indeed takes that much effort for us to increase the production. So that was what happened. Now, at this meeting, rice farmers brought to the fore the sort of challenge they encounter in the production. The reason why, as a country, we are not able to, sustain production of rice in this country. One of them has to do with access to water. Rice is a crop that needs water all year round, and therefore, if we should rely on rain-fed, it means that we cannot. So what the rice farmers are saying is that government needs to develop small irrigation systems to help farmers, because if you go to the western region, unfortunately, most of the zones in Ghana has soil that supports cultivation of rice. What we need is the availability of water, and that's why these farmers believe that if we can make water available, it means that we can grow rice all year round. What should government do? Government should therefore develop, a policy or a project to construct these dams to make water available to the farmers. They say that, look, if you make water available to us, we will be able to grow rice all year round. And blessed, we should know that there is that opportunity for local rice farmers to tap into. We are importing rice in the millions of tons every year, which means if our farmers are able to meet up that, look at the number of jobs we are going to create. So there is that opportunity, but we need our farmers to come up, but they need the support of government. Now, if you speak to farmers, one major challenge is also access to finance. Now, if you are giving money to farmers at the interest rate of, say, 30%, they say that no rice farmer in Ghana can do any tangible business with it. It's not possible. So they will need specialized, funds being made available to rice farmers if we want them to be competitive. Because if they should borrow at very low interest rate, they can then grow rice and sell it at affordable rate for us to also buy. So that's what they are demanding. So two things: for government to make relatively cheaper funds available to them, to ensure that there's water available to them, and then they can grow rice all year round. But one thing that they also revealed is that there is going to be a possible shortage of Ghana rice in the first quarter, or even the first and second quarters of next year, because they were not able to grow enough rice this year as a result of the fertilizer shortage that hit the country. If you remember, there was this fertilizer shortage as a result, and they blamed it on the war in Ukraine, and that's why Ghana was not able to import a lot of fertilizers into the country. The farmers are saying that as a result of that, they couldn't cultivate more, and therefore we should expect that in the first quarter of next year, especially, or before the planting season next year, they will not be able to make a lot of these locally grown rice available in the market. So, blessed, that is that. But again, we should also state that according to the Agricultural Research for Sustainable Development, Ghana's rice self-sufficiency ratio declined from 38% in 1999 to 24% in 2008 and increased to about 43% in 2020. So you see the quantum jump. It is to point out to the fact that there's that opportunity in the rice industry, and it's about time investors take advantage and invest in the rice value chain. The farmers are saying that we are there, we have the land. All we need is the right investment. What investors in Ghana should then do is to take advantage of this and invest in the sector. And I'm sure together we'll get somewhere.
So for the farmers, what's their key concern now, and what would they want in terms of government intervention?
So, like I mentioned, two things now, very, very crucial. Access to very affordable finance. They are saying that if you give them finance at a rate of 30%, it will be difficult for the rice farmer to do any business with it. They can't. And therefore, they would need access to affordable loans or affordable finance, I should say. So it means that government should come in here and develop policy to make finance available to rice farmers at very cheaper rate. If you make farmers fight for loans at the competitive rate as the industries are doing, it will be difficult for them to. And so they are calling on government to make that specialized access to cheaper funds for them. And again, to make access to water. So what they are calling for is the development of very small to medium scale irrigation schemes, like the Pualugu Dam. That's a heavy one. So do very smaller ones for them, and they can then grow rice all year round. And blessed, I have been in this value chain for some time. I know that the potential is there. The only thing that is needed is for water to be made available. Unfortunately, Ghana, our agriculture in general has been a rain-fed one, and that's why we are not able to sustain production or cultivation all year round. So if we are able to make water available to farmers all year round, then we can cultivate all year round. And that's why the farmers are saying that make finance available to us at cheaper rate and get us access to water, and we will be able to grow rice. So two things,
and very recently,
and availability of water.
And very recently, you were in the Western North region, I believe, touring some of the communities and trying to engage farmers. What did you unravel in that report?
Well, so I had a chat with a rice farmer who had cultivated about 35 acres of rice farm. They are saying that, look, like I mentioned, water is something that should be made available to them. The market is there. And unfortunately, a lot of Ghanaians have now developed the taste for locally grown rice. Gone are the days when you would go for local rice and you'd expect to have stones and all of that in them. Today, because of investment, these producers and processors have invested into the sector such that they are able to sort out stones. So you buy a local rice and you may think that you're eating a foreign rice. So they have been able to do that for Ghanaians to decide to now eat local. So the market is there. The rice farmers are also cultivating, but they need support. So, for example, when I went to Takwa Nusrayem constituency, where I spoke to a rice farmer at Simpa, he told me that they have been able to cultivate, but that one other challenge is access to labor. The farmers there, and you know that place is a galamsey-prone area. So the young guys there are easily attracted to galamsey than to come to the rice farm. So that's also another challenge where we need to have some thinking into. They have to travel all the way to the northern part of Ghana to bring in people to support. So it's also another area where the farmers there were complaining that access to labor is a problem because of galamsey. They would want to go to galamsey than to come and work on the rice farm. So that's there. Again, one challenge too is the invasion of birds. Birds do peck the grains as they mature, and so they have to use catapult to be sucking the birds, and that's a huge thing. You cannot do it all throughout, and therefore we need technology in that area. So the tech guys can also look at it and say, well, can we develop drones that can do this trick? In other jurisdictions, there are drones, but Ghana and the farmers in Ghana do not have that much finance to be able to procure these. So it's also another area another person can invest in to bring drones that can deal with these birds. So that is another challenge that the farmer in Simpa made it available. So that's it, Blessed. That's what I uncovered when I went to Simpa.
Well, my colleague Samuel Kujo breaks there. Earlier, Richard Kujinyako, the team here, was at the Rice Festival and interacted with patrons, and here's what we found out.
Producers and also mechanization companies who work with the rice industry. Yeah.
What is the objective of this?
Today's occasion is to run up the year activities that we have done. Our successes, our challenges, and other stories. So we are here today to let Ghana know where Ghana rice has come from. From 10 years ago, from where we were till today. It's been a major improvement, but we need the policymakers to be firm, deliberate attempt to help the industry.
So what I see here, so all of these are Ghana rice?
Yes, everything you see here is locally produced, and it is produced in Ghana.
I've also seen that it's not only rice, but you've also mounted other things. Are these the fertilizers and the others?
Exactly. These are things that adds up to the rice farming. Without these things, it's impossible for you to do rice. Rice is a special crop, and if you don't treat it special, you fall short in terms of yield. Yeah.
So that's the president of the Ghana rice. Okay, so there's the president of the Ghana Rice Interprofessional Bodies speaking to us. So we have to go around here. Now where am I?
Valavi rice. Yeah, we are Monacasa Jasmine. Yeah, money of Veta irrigation.
I don't know how many doing jasmine.
Yeah, that's the seed. Seed na dry and jasmine.
I'm not far by mobile top.
Yes, go for per money pa. Yeah, wo ja yeah market. Yeah, crop we nyina yeah the omo ton e mo yeah mo efu.
Nti aya de wudua no ene de wode ba market ni nyina san tentem ana.
San papa mo kra ni ho. Up to now kra ye ni mo ye pe mo. See every year different regions aye ko pe mo atop abeton.
Who's a man for taste our rice mo asesa a mo di Ghana rice.
Omo di papa. Omo hwehwe. Yeah, but omo frɛ. Dey come from over 100 people are calling for Ghana rice.
Then you betumi aye na 2 Ghana rice mpon ama aye ados no come market na go Ghana rice.
The omo be ya boy government the person government ni ye boy and say on be ma ya nya eduru ato eduru na ede ye mo no how be improving like prices na what was see and price na was so there's some more price na ba for say be ye kuafo bia betimi ato aye efo be bia ehia dam aye de be ye efo no say some constructed dam wo ma yeah because upper land for no need dams and we understand up to now dry season e ba na ahye because of that we are lacking so
this woman says that there is an increase in the patronage of Ghana rice such that what they produce they sell them quickly on the market and then they are done. So they have a few recommendations that there should be a deliberate support from government in terms of irrigation, in terms of what they use in planting, in terms of their farm preparation, so that when we get to the market, we see more of the Ghana rice on the market than the foreign and the imported ones. Hello. My name is Richard. What's your name?
My name is Kwabena Sari from Pond Farms.
So, I mean, these are Ghana rice?
Yes, this is made in Ghana, right here in Ghana, in Accra-Kasoa by Pond Farms Ghana Limited, a subsidiary of Water River Authority, and we grow quality premium rice right here in Ghana. Yes.
What's the how is the patronage of the local rice like? Has it seen an increase?
Yes, for this year, it's grown very well. I think it's been good. In previous years, we've had a bit of challenge whereby we don't get much patronage, but coming into this year, we've seen a rise in our sales, and it's well appreciated. And we have enough, and we call on corporate Ghana and any other institutions who are ready to buy and do business with us to come. Let's buy Ghana, let's grow Ghana, and going forward, we promise that we will make rice available. We'll boost our supply to be able to give you all you need at the best prices. Thank you.
How do you reduce the rice import, knowing very well that in 2021 alone we imported rice over $1 billion US? How do we improve the Ghana situation so that the importation will reduce?
Yes, so the issue has generally been with supply. People complain that when you need Ghana rice, you don't get it. So we are doing our very best to grow more rice, right, expand our fields and ensure that we are giving quality rice. So our rice is not just any other rice, it's approved by the Standards Authority, the FDA, and we ensure that it is quality, it is premium. We give grade A quality rice. And with that, Ghanaians are assured that yes, why not? Why not buy from us rather than go for foreign rice which have been over polished with chemicals and all that? We have here made in Ghana rice. We employ Ghanaians, and it is the rice, it is the right kind of rice you need. And I tell you, every Ghanaian should get a bag of Pond Farm rice. Thank you.
So thank you. So these are exhibitors, rice producers at the Rice Festival here at the Afua Sutherland's Children's Park. Let's see if we could speak with a few of the rice producers. Let's speak with you. Let's speak with you. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
So tell me the items on display here.
Okay, so we are displaying our rice seeds. Since it's a rice festival, we are displaying our rice seeds from Advanta. This is a hybrid rice seed called Swana 2. And then we have our insecticide here called Viper Super. That's an insecticide. We have Banco D, which is a fungicide. Then we have a Kali herb, which is a 2,4-D. It's a systemic herbicide. And we have also Kalash, which is also a herbicide.
So since you started this, have people come to inquire? How has the patronage been?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of patronage. We've made some good number of sales for the participants here. So they've come around, we've educated them on some of the chemicals and the functions, and then they've done some purchases as well.
You get the impression that the eating of Ghana rice is soaring, is going high?
Yeah, I think so. There are a lot of companies that are into packaging Ghana rice now, and we deal with some of these companies through a partnership where we provide them with the seeds for their outgrowers, and then they then harvest the milled rice and then they pack and sell.
My final question to you. So Ghana imported $1 billion worth of rice into this country. Your suggestion, how do we deal with it in order to reduce the rice import? Then we can base on the Ghana rice.
So I think a lot of support needs to go into local production. We need a lot more support in local production.
What in what?
Inputs. Government I think there should be some energy channel towards there. Not just government, private sector needs to get involved. There are a lot of actors in the area, in the space now. All they need is good off-takers. They need some of the big guys in the rice industry who are into packing to support them. These people need, these farmers, need some kind of support. You know, they need to have guarantee market for the product. It's only in that situation that people will have enough confidence to go out into the field and grow rice.
So that's from Kali Ghana, and they are into these products. They support farmers in growing rice there. So this is therefore.
And my colleague Richard Kojunyako there. And now there's uncertainty regarding who will present the 2023 budget to Parliament. Despite the House firming up a date, the House has been informed that the budget is scheduled to be presented on the 24th of November, but no one is sure if this presentation will be made by Embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Listen to Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin announce the date for the budget after earlier uncertainties.
Barring any unforeseen development, the Minister responsible for Finance, on the authority of the President of the Republic, is scheduled to present the budget statement for the year ending 31st December 2023, in accordance with Article 179 of the 1992 Constitution, on Thursday, the 24th of November 2022. The Business Committee therefore urges members to take note and adjust their calendar accordingly and be present in the House on the said date. So, Speaker, as per our practice, members are to have understanding of the budget to make meaningful contributions. Accordingly, there is supposed to be a post-budget workshop scheduled for Friday 25th to Monday the 28th of November at the Volta Serene Hotel Hall in the Volta region.
But some MPs want the majority leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Jose Mensah Bonsu, to tell Parliament exactly who would present the statement.
Statement stated that the minister responsible for finance will be here on the 23rd to read the budget. And I wanted to be sure that we are talking about the same Minister of Finance who has just been referred to the committee who is under scrutiny, or whether or not, as has variously been expressed, even by the majority, and not that it will be somebody will be here to basically read a budget on behalf of the president. And that is very important in the face of all the discussions we are having on the minister's status.
On the issue of who will be presenting the budget, we understand what the constitutional provision says, but at least it is appropriate the presentation would have been the Minister for Finance. But that question is so important because we have heard some of our colleagues from your side who have publicly threatened that they will boycott Parliament if the Minister for Finance appears to present the budget. So as the Minister, as the leader of the House, and Minister for Parliamentary Business, it is imperative you tell us whether the embroidered Minister for Finance would appear to present the budget, or at least your good self. Because I realized when we presented, you enjoyed it. We all loved it, that we have one of our colleagues in this House presenting the budget. So tell us, more so when we are taking the business for next week, so that we'll be rest assured that at least some of our colleagues wouldn't be boycotting, because we would have known that you would do the presentation or a different person would do that.
And these uncertainties stem from an announcement yesterday by Rebel MPP MPs that Finance Minister Kenneth Vereta has lost their trust and cannot be made to do the presentation. Well, Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Jose Mensah Bonsu, says that the decision lies with President Akufo-Addo, who can appoint any of his ministers to do the presentation.
The same minister is asking who will be presenting the budget. Speaker, the answer lies in Article 179. I just quoted it here. Article 179 says, the President shall cause to be prepared and laid before Parliament at least 1 month before the end of the financial year, estimates of the revenues and expenditure of Government of Ghana for the following financial year. The budget statement and economic policy is the President's own work program for the country into the ensuing financial year. And the presidents and presidents usually ferry this to this House, courtesy of any Minister of State. Any Minister of State is capable of being nominated by the President to do that. At the time, that minister could be described as the minister temporarily responsible for finance. It doesn't necessarily mean that it should be done willy-nilly by a Minister of Finance. It explains the reason why the other day, when the minister was indisposed, I was asked to stand in for him. I would suggest to you that we could even have the minister responsible for communication, or the minister responsible for roads and highways, who will be here. We could also have the minister responsible for finance, who will be here to do that. The answer, as I've told you, lies in Article 179. So I cannot pretend to know who the president is going to nominate to do the presentation of the budget.
And then Battle Domi Kwabenya MP Sarah Joasafo says she's aware of efforts by her own colleagues to have her seat declared vacant, and that the matters will be dealt with while shying away from the key issues. The MP indicated that she's grateful for the support her constituents have shown her in these trying times. She spoke exclusively to JoyNews on her return to Parliament after more than a year.
What do you say to your constituents?
I say hello to my constituents, and I thank them for being there to support and praying Yeah.
Honorable, if you can just give me a word on these issues about getting your seat declared vacant. What do you say about that now that you are back?
I just came in and the reception has been good, so we take it up from there.
And you're still on the pulse on the JoyNews channel. We'll be back shortly. Please stay. And this afternoon, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has called off its industrial action after 5 days. This comes after the National Labour Commission secured a court order restraining NAGRAT, NUT and CCT from continuing their strike. The three groups announced a sit-down strike on Friday, November 4, 2022, in protest of the appointment of the new Director General of the Ghana Education Service and the extension of the mandate of the Deputy Director. Also, they're asking government to renew their conditions of service that will expire in December. According to President of NAGRAT, Angel Kabono, teachers are expected to return to post on November 14.
We have had information that the Labour Commission is sought an ex parte ruling against the three teacher unions, and that the court has ordered the three teacher unions to immediately call off the strike and return to the classroom. Unfortunately, the assumption that the three teacher unions were defying the orders of the Labour Commission is not true. We were not defying the orders of the Labour Commission. We were trying to touch base with our downlines to ensure the right thing is done. We are law-abiding citizens. We have decided to obey the orders of the court, and I've asked our members to call off the strike and to go back to the classroom, and also ensure that the directive that the Labour Commission is given, that we will engage the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations and report to the Labour Commission on the 16th, that is next Wednesday, on the issues that led to the strike in the first place. And we are determined to do that in our engagement with the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations and the Ministry of Education. Thank you very much.
So you have called off the strike?
Yes, we have.
You have. Now, when you read the court order, it says for within a period of 10 days, it means they are not satisfied those requirements.
Well, that is, they've asked the Labour Commission that this injunction has a lifespan of 10 days. Yes. And after 10 days, they can only come on notice. That is, they have to serve the three teacher unions. That is what I understand by the ruling of the court.
But Mr. Kabot, you don't look so cheerful.
Well, I don't have to be cheerful because the objective for which I went on strike is not been completely achieved. And that is not making me happy, because we need to fight as public servants to ensure that the public service remains the public service without the undue and unbridled interference by the politicians. We are very glad that our brothers and sisters in the other unions in the public service are all beginning to jump onto the fray. And you'll be surprised that the next time we will come as a whole public sector workers unions, where we will come and ensure that at the end of the day, the public service remains the public service without undue interference by the politician. Solidarity operates in various ways. CLOSAC and NAGRAT are all part of the forum. The forum is a combination of all public sector unions. So the struggle is going to move into a different pedestal from there. CLOSAC is suffering the same thing that we are suffering. So we will have to build a united front of all public sector workers to ensure that the politician stays off the public service.
Traffic begins in an hour or two, and many residents of Kasoa and its environs say they will have to leave their workplace before 4 p.m. They fear they will be caught up in the terrible bumper-to-bumper traffic situation they had to endure on Thursday, close to 24 hours after heavy rains washed down silt onto the Accra-Kasoa highway. The gridlock on the eastbound section of the busy stretch has not improved. Maxwell Agbaba, who reports that residents and commuters are angry and demanding permanent fix to the perennial problem. Here's this report.
It is 10 minutes past 1 a.m. here on the main Accra-Kasoa highways. It is a bumper-to-bumper traffic on the stretch from the top of a small hill here. I can see more than a kilometer of vehicles stuck in this gridlock. Some commuters who are tired of sitting in cars are now walking to their destination. Some of them with their heads peering the car window. A man I met earlier had parked his car at a fuel station, continuing the rest of the journey to his house on foot. I've now met a truck driver, Josephine. His truck is stuck here in this mud on the stretch. He says he would have to spend the night here on this road. So tell us, how long have you been here?
I say since 1977.
6:37. Okay.
Oh yeah, I reached here.
Yeah.
The time I reach here, the water is moved up.
Yeah.
So I can't pass. So I have to stay and see what is going on.
Yeah.
I will stay up by say 2 hours, 3 hours. That's still the water is going on. I can't move.
Yeah.
So I have to stay inside the water.
Okay.
And let the water go down, and then I will try myself to, come out for that place.
Yeah.
But I'll try. The thing is not successful.
Yeah.
So I will stay. Until the time the water go down. So I will go find shovel and do one of two things so that I will come out.
Yeah.
But my company give you the time where it is stop. So I can't move again. I have to find some place.
So you're going to sleep in this car?
Yes, I'll sleep inside. So tomorrow morning I'll come out for here.
Okay. Yeah, so what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Kenneth.
How long have you been walking?
Yeah, I've been walking for about 3 hours. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Walking from the Tembu to what's Mall, the Mall side.
Wow.
The road is very bad. The government, maybe my because
okay, so you're saying because of the water,
yeah, because of the rain spoiled everything.
Yeah.
You see, I'm a painter. I close from work 3:50.
Yeah.
I'm now going home. From here to Kasoa, it's too far.
And it's 12:30
a.m.
Yeah.
12:30 getting to 1 o'clock. So I don't know the time that I'll get home.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your name?
My name is Abdul Somad.
Okay. How long have you been walking?
Almost an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you were in a car?
Yeah, I was in the car, and then they said, let me just get out. Okay. And then take the lead because I think the way the traffic is, it will not stop now. So I just did that and then I said, let me take the lead.
Yeah. But it's around 1 a.m. It's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah.
What do you want authorities to do about the situation?
Like the way I said earlier, they have to at least expand the road and then at that place.
Okay.
That place
to do something about it. Okay. How long have you been in traffic, sir?
We've been in traffic for about, let's say 45 minutes now.
45 minutes? 1 a.m. Are you sure you'll be able to go to work?
Oh, no, I'm not sure.
You can't?
I'm not sure.
The campaign for science, of course, technology, education, and mathematics is definitely on here in Ghana. And of course, there's a need to scale that up by trickling that down the academic ladder. We know of the National Science and Maths Quiz and some of the interventions going around, the STEM, push for STEM for girls. And also, this time around, there's a new campaign to try and allow the little ones as well, both at the basic school, to also try and catch up and jump onto the STEM train. Guess what? I'm joined in studio now by Francis Ahiniafo, Senior Vice official working with, he's actually the Senior Vice President at Dream Oval Foundation. He's joining us to have a conversation on this new G-Step challenge that is about to come onto your screen. So let's talk about it, and it's a good time to be speaking to you. Welcome to our studios.
Pleasure to
and let's talk about G-Step first of all. When people hear that, they're wondering, well, are we in for another time of technicalities and fixing wires and all of that? What's G-Step about?
G-STEM is primarily is acronym for Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Prize. It's a STEM initiative to introduce children in the junior high schools between the ages of 11 and 16 years to practical learning, STEM education, and development of STEM skills, because the world has evolved. Okay, the era of rote learning is fast moving away, and we need to now introduce our kids to practical learning, introduce them to STEM skills, because that is the panacea to solve a lot of the unemployment issues that we have. So we are building these young people or these kids the ability to develop entrepreneurial mindset and create solutions around challenges within their communities.
And generally, what challenge are you seeking to deal with once you roll on this campaign?
So every community in this country is bedeviled with lots of problems. We are dealing with sanitation, we are dealing with power issues, we are dealing with water issues, we are dealing with, every community has its own issues. So what we are advocating is that look at challenges within your communities, look at resources within your environment, use those resources to come up with solutions, submit those ideas as part of the challenge. We'll verify them, we'll assess them, and if you qualify, we'll move you to the next level. So that is the essence of this idea, to inculcate in these young people the ability to use local materials to develop solutions to address local challenges within their environment.
And I'm just wondering what format you'll be taking in terms of rolling out the campaign. Are you opening that up to all students at a basic level? What are the requirements?
It's open to all students at the basic level, but you need to fall within the two regions, Accra and the Ashanti regions.
So is it a pilot, or that's what it's going to be?
For now, it's a 3-year pilot that we are running. And of course, we've had calls from all over the country to bring it to their regions. But unfortunately, this 3-year program, it's for these two regions to pilot this and test the model, and then we can scale it to other regions. So eventually, this will be opened up to the entire, all schools within the country to participate in the challenge.
So if there's a parent who's watching us now who wants their ward to be part of the program, how do you get started?
We have already started. As a matter of fact, the program started last year with scoping and research. We ran a lot of hack events to conscientize the kids about what is happening. And on the 14th of July 2022, we launched the challenge formally. So the challenge has been launched. Submissions have come through. We received over 800 submissions from the two regions. Out of that, we have scaled it down to 50. So we've shortlisted that number to 50 ideas who are currently being supported. What it is that you need to, those 50 ideas, of course, we've agreed, these are your ideas that you've submitted, which qualifies you to the next level. So now we support you, we give you the resources. In addition to local materials you are sourcing in your environment, we will resource you financially, technically, material-wise, to ensure that you build your ideas into prototype. And we've had a lot of ideas, that are coming up. So now they are at the stage where they are building those ideas they submitted into their prototypes. So it is this prototype that is going to be submitted. And we have the judging stage happening on the 24th and 25th of this month in Accra. And then on the 30th and 1st of December, we go to Kumasi for the judging phase. And our judging stage is going to be the dragon-style judging, where you come, groups submit their projects, and the judges are going to query them, ask them questions, and find out the ideas behind how scalable is this, how marketable is this, how is your solution even addressing challenges within your community. After that one, the judges are going to select the best 3 ideas that we are going to honor.
So give me an idea of what of the challenge, for instance, that these children may face.
As in what you are going to go through?
Yes, practically.
Oh, so like I said, a lot of them have developed. I've seen a group has come up with an idea to use cow down to generate biogas.
Oh, amazing.
In addition to this, some of them are coming up.
Even at that level?
At that level. And for me, it's very important because we need to nurture talent at the young level. We don't have to wait till they get to the tertiary level before we begin to build talent in them, or we're going to begin to identify talent. Even at the young stage, as in junior high schools, begin to identify some of these talents, support them, provide them all the needed support so they can groom themselves into entrepreneurs. They come out of schools and they understand the mindset of an entrepreneur. They are not looking to be employed, they are looking to employ, because now they can build solutions. Wherever there's a problem, there is an employment, okay? And that's the idea behind this, that if there's a problem in your community, definitely there is a way to solve that problem. If you have the ability to solve that problem, you have the ability to create jobs.
And is there an opportunity for mentorship for people who will be part of these academies?
Definitely. So in line with this program as well, we're working with 5 partners. One of our partners, which is Mest Africa, MEST is responsible for mentorship. So we've recruited mentors who are supporting each of these groups. So every group, we've selected 50 groups. Every group has a mentor who is guiding, supporting them, and shaping their mindset towards the skills development and STEM skills development. So everybody has a mentor who's assisting them. Aside the mentors, they also have coaches who are helping them shape those ideas into their prototypes. So,
and since you're talking about MEST, I'm sure that there are other partners who are supporting on this journey that you might want to talk about.
So beside MEST Africa, there's Foundervine. Foundervine is based in Ghana, but they're also based in the UK. Foundervine is responsible for the youth ambassadorial wing of the challenge. Because we are dealing with young people, we've also recruited young ambassadors who are helping implementing partners to drive the initiative. So Foundervine is responsible, and they run them through various programs, masterclass sessions, design thinking sessions, to shape their mindset as well, to support us, the implementing partners. We also have Nesta challenges. Nesta Challenge Works, as a matter of fact. They used to be Nesta Challenge. They are now Challenge. They are based in the UK, who are also helping to design the program. And then we have Dex Technology. Dex is part of this initiative. So Dex is also responsible for the technical part of the challenge, and they are also providing the materials, the resources to support the young people. So they are the organization behind helping the groups and the students develop their ideas into prototypes.
And what's next after this very engagement?
So what's next on the 25th of January 2023, we're going to have a grand exhibition and award ceremony. And we are rewarding our award prizes over 200,000 Ghana cedis, which is going to be given to the first 3 winners who are going to come up best after this challenge. So that's what we are currently driving at, getting the students ready, getting the event site ready to exhibit their materials, and want Ghana to come and see. And you'll be blown away. I have been impressed with the ideas that these kids have come up with. And if we can build talent at this level, or if we can train our children at this level to start nurturing their talents, believe me, when they get to the tertiary level, they will transform this country for us. And that's the essence of this program. Build confidence in these young people to know that they have the can-do spirit to do something. And that's the essence of this for us.
Let's talk about the future for the program. How's it looking like? Because you were talking, for instance, about plans to move from just the Eastern and Greater Accra to other regions as well. So how are you actualizing these plans?
So after our 3-year engagement, which ends in 2023, we are engaging other funding organizations to come in and support. So the idea is to move this across the country, as I indicated. And we don't want the program to die, because for such an initiative, we need a holistic plan. Get every child in every community involved in this. So there is a plan to raise more funding. We are working with, I need to also emphasize that we are working in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service. So after the 3 years, we want to also work with them to own it. And then we will support them financially to drive this across the country. So getting access to the schools, getting access to the students, getting access to the teachers, it has been their responsibility to help us access these schools, teachers, and all the needed resources within the educational space to promote this program. Our goal is to work with them to move to the next level and get this program across the entire country.
And is there any other thing that, for instance, parents could do to support this program?
Yes, I mean, we need a parent's consent. I mean, we need parents' support in all this. We need them to motivate their children. These children are in groups. They are working with other children from other partners. So there are some meetings that are held on weekends. We need parents to know that their kids are doing something phenomenal. And we need their backing, we need their blessing. That's all the kids are looking for. They need that pat on the back to say, you can do it, go ahead. That's all we require from them. And we need them to follow us on social media and see the amazing ideas that their children have come up with. And these children need to be proud of themselves, because for them to come up with such ideas, I believe that Ghana has a great future.
And for those who have not been part of the program, I guess you have a message for them as well.
Definitely. So for those who even didn't make it to the next level, there is a plan to continue engage them. As a matter of fact, right after we close the ceremony on the 25th of January 2023, we are opening a full year challenge the next year. From January to December, the challenge is open again So those who couldn't make it can refine their ideas and resubmit their ideas next year when we open the food challenge, and definitely the sky is the limit for them. There's a lot of opportunities that we are working with. We are working with a number of organizations, one of them being a multimedia group who is backing and supporting us, Fidelity Bank, Stanbic Bank, Graphic Communications Group. These are partners that we're working with. Some of these winners are going to intern at their age, intern with some of these organizations to pick nuggets and pick ideas from them on how business is developed. So there is a great future. And for those who didn't make it, yes, like I said, there's other ways we are engaging them to ensure that we don't lose them, because those ideas, they didn't go to qualify to the next level, not because the ideas are good, because they were better ideas. But those ideas, we don't want to throw them into the garbage. We want to still refine them and ensure that we develop them.
And I'm, for instance, interested in the issue of peer learning, for instance. How are you encouraging these little ones who've gone through the challenge to also influence their colleagues back in school when they return?
Definitely. So I didn't indicate that we have this ambassadorial group. They are called the Youth Steering Group.
Right.
They, in their schools, become advocates for GenStep. These young ones are also, we get them to the schools to engage these young people and talk to them.
Right.
When we finish this challenge, some of those winners are also going to be paraded across these two regions for the schools to see them, for the education authorities to see them. And that, we believe, is the ability to inspire creativity among the other peers, for them to know that if Kojo can do it, then it means Mansa can equally do same. So we are using them to propagate the gospel, the message around practical learning and STEM skills, and get the ideas to other kids who have not been part of this program.
I wish this conversation would go on and on, but Mr. Hiniafo, thank you for joining us here on the Pulse. And of course, we're looking up to that Ghana Science and Tech Challenge Prize. You need to monitor all of the developments here on the JoyNews channel. But for now, Executive Director of Green Advocacy Ghana says military visibility at Galamsey site is an interim intervention which will ensure sanity and orderliness. Speaking at a symposium dubbed Galamsey Menace, What Legacy Are We Leaving? Anthony Adia encouraged the presence of the military to fight illegal miners in the short term.
Now, for the short term, I am proposing that we continue to maintain the military as an interim measure, and for the short term recommended interventions, I'm proposing up to 6 months maximum. Then for the assemblies must be made to devise relevant strategies to monitor, arrest offenders in collaboration with the military.
Well, he added that small-scale mining and community mining have failed, hence they must be converted into mining cooperatives, which will translate into the creation of jobs for the youth.
They need to move away from small-scale mining and community mining. They have failed. See, and what I'm suggesting is that all holders of small-scale mining license and community mining must be converted into some kind of mining cooperatives. Now, the audit will define what mining cooperative should actually be, and then the support system for it, because of course, if we are doing this local and we do not want any foreign financial injection into it, then there must be some local sources of financing to support this whole idea. And then so we can have meaningful employment for our youth. Because if they are gainfully employed in properly organized mining schemes, then there will not be the temptation to go and risk their lives in Galamsey.
And now to Techiman Municipality of the Bono East region, where some of the drivers and aggrieved members of the Techiman Market Drivers Association, led by its leadership, are threatening to lay down their tools in protest against rising prices of petroleum products at the pumps. They say that the increment and hikes in fuel prices, coupled with the rising cost of spare parts, is already pushing several drivers to park their trucks, thereby rendering several others out of jobs. They want government to help address the situation or face thereof. And Sabit has been monitoring that and now reports.
Skyrocketing, record-breaking fuel prices are forcing some truck drivers to park their vehicles. Some members of the Techiman Market Drivers Association say the operational cost of running a truck, coupled with other expenses to operate, is collapsing the transport trade at a faster rate, thereby pushing several persons out of job. Olman Garba is the General Secretary of the group.
Sa increment fuel increment we dey abreye dey nyame o hata suru nkwa na betime ade asemamai.
Our businesses are collapsing because most of our drivers are already parking their trucks.
Last 2 weeks now your top fuel 15 a liter no 15.99 and now about
2 weeks ago we were buying a liter of diesel at 15 cedis 99 pesos. Today it is 23 cedis 49 pesos, and this has pushed us to park 3 of our 4 trucks. This means 8 or 9 persons have lost their jobs.
Nipa kasimiensa anya hwekura nipa be 8 to 9 and omodwuma gunu enti di aban na ye no asese se no aban person o ka kire se ye nyina ye nya adwuma ye.
He says with the current state of affairs, traders who rely on the services of truck drivers to transport food items to other parts of the country will have to find other alternatives, as members of the association are threatening to lay down their tools.
Sesi amemenu kasei enema efa no odwum a week we ye ko na ye ko na tofo anu ko na ba na se
from next week, if we don't see changes in the prices of fuel, the traders will have to find their own private cars to transport their goods. These drivers say the hike in fuel prices is adversely affecting the prices of spare parts, thereby affecting general operational cost of their trucks.
20 million or 30 million. Send 50 million now, 25 million. What I say last month, I got GT, Renault, 24 million, 2,400. And then answer me, 3,500.
The prices of various papers is skyrocketing every now and then, and this is pushing us out of business.
180, 250. Say you koya na ya buy. Nti adwuma no de baby aban no de driver for nam no kwan o de nam so no de
The incessant hikes has not only affected these drivers but some market women who patronize their services. Ajo Brunya is one of them.
The
fuel prices is affecting all of us. We used to buy new maize at 150 cedis. It is now 500 cedis, and our fare per bag has also moved from 38 Ghana cedis to 70 cedis, and then 80 cedis this week.
70 Ghana, and now was already 80 because this week is why to me.
These traders are appealing to government to see to the reduction of fuel prices as a way to help keep them in business.
Yeah, the slide in the 1-2 petrol. Petrol now no bibia. So what to petrol no bibia no boboko.
Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Please stay. We'll be back shortly. And you're welcome back to the Pulse, and we're all excited. ANC Mall is celebrating their 20th anniversary, and yes, they have goodies for you. Let me leave the management team representative to tell you all about that. Yes, well, joining me now is Dr. Andrea Samoa, Chairman of ANC Development Group. And Chairman, it's such a good time to be seeing you here on the Pulse. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people do not know about the ANC journey. How has it been for you so far?
Okay, ANC, we have the ANC Development
company,
right,
and the ANC Mall. The ANC development is 20 years, but the ANC Mall is 15 years because it took us 5 years to build a mall.
Okay.
And the ANC Mall is the first mall in Ghana, and strangely enough, the only mall which is fully 100% owned by a Ghanaian.
Well, we never knew that.
ANC Mall is fully owned by a Ghanaian without any external party. Yes.
What inspired that idea of going into such a sector?
My background, I was working as a director with the UN, particularly World Health Organization in Geneva. I joined the UN very young. So at the age of 55, I've reached the apex, so I decided to take early retirement and came back, and I've always been interested in real estate. So I had the land already when I came.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought maybe I was going to build houses and things. But it just dawned on me that Accra has no shopping mall. So I decided to go into it. And in my mind, as I've stayed outside, I thought you just go to the bank, you bring your business plan, you have a certain percentage of the total amount, and you begin a mortgage. And in Ghana, it's not.
It doesn't happen that way.
Well, even if they will give you, it's only for 5 years. And at the time, interest rate was 40%, and it was impossible. So what I decided was to do it in phases.
Right.
So ANC, unlike Accra Mall or the other malls, took about 10 years to finish the totality.
Okay.
You know, we have the first phase, which is the main thing.
All right.
Then we went on the second phase
of it,
etc., etc. Also,
right.
we completely finished. And if you've been to ANC, ANC is the only mall which is fully powered by solar. We don't use electricity.
Wow.
Electricity is just a backup. Solar powered the whole of the mall.
And this is, first of all, inspiration and a lot of vision going into that. And I'm sure that's what sustained you over the period. And congratulations to you and the team. How do you plan on celebrating this anniversary?
Okay, because for us, this is a very important and unique occasion. We line up many activities. For example, as we are talking, today till Sunday, we have what we call 15 on 15. What we mean, ANC Mall is 15 years. So if you go to the mall today, tomorrow, Sunday, everything you buy, you get 15%.
Oh, this is a good deal. I'm sure a lot of people are rushing before us, but we'll join them
and
later.
We have a lot of other activities. There will be the Black Friday. Right. There will be a lot of donation to charity. We will be inviting the diaspora coming in December. Okay. There will be a big thing. So a lot will be given awards to our staff who have worked with us. We also give awards to the tenants who have been faithful to us. So a lot of activities, and we hope to climax it with the opening of the ANC Corner.
Oh, what's that supposed to be?
ANC Corner is opposite the East Legon police station.
Okay.
And it's going to be a home decor, you know, like Home Depot, everything to do with building in one place.
So once you're moving there,
you get
all the solutions.
You know, in Ghana, if you want to build now,
becomes a
you're
challenge.
going to buy this here and buy that here. You get everything there. It's almost finished. We've been a bit delayed because the road, there's a flyover which is being done. And they're expanding the road, so it has affected us. So initially, we thought we'd open in December, but from the way it's going, maybe that one will be in May and in March. Apart from the ANC Corner, our next project is what we call the ANC Village. The ANC Village is at Oyibi on the way to Dodowa. It's about 10 times of the existing ANC Mall. It is going to be a whole village. Homes, apartments, commercial, everything. So that we've started, but the main one we are about to finish is the ANC.
And indeed, we pray for strength so that you're able to carry all of this out. But we know that a lot of competitors keep springing up. How have you been able to sustain the business over these years?
I think what has made ANC unique is the fact that we are multi-purpose mall.
Right.
I mean, you come to the ANC, the fuel station, the fitness center, the swimming pool, the playground for children, and you want to see your doctor, you want to go to a dentist, you want to go to... So ANC is a community mall, so that when you are there, weekends you go, the food court is full, people are watching football, it's a lifestyle. Right. So this is what makes most of the malls, you go there just to shop. Right. ANC, you go there to dine, you go there to enjoy, you go for your health, etc., etc. So ANC is unique in that sense, and I think that is what has kept us going.
What message do you have for your clients and people who actually patronize your products and what you have on display there?
No, we are very grateful and happy to, first, our tenants who have been with us on the journey. We are grateful to our customers who floor there every day, every weekend. The mall is always full. And we try to serve them. We are not there only to rent the spaces. We are there to provide what we think they need. I mean, if you want to repair your shoe, you come to ANC, there's a place to do that. You want to change money, we have 3 banks, we have a Federal Bureau, you know, playground, weekend, we bring the children. So ANC, we've done it in such a way, and we are very happy. When I go there and I see the customers happy, it makes me also very happy.
You were talking about some of the plans that you have in place in terms of long term, beyond the real estate and others. Are there some plans, some more that would indeed be coming in the years?
Okay, there are plans, but like I always say, I always believe we go slowly because one, the economy in Ghana is a bit unsettled. So you have to watch the economy. For example, we started the year with a cedi at 6 cedis to the dollar. We are now today is 15 cedis to the dollar. So you have to be very careful how you plan step by step. You don't rush, you know. So this is how we are trying to make sure. And the most important thing about ANC is that it is a family business. I am the chairman. One of my children is the MD. I have another one who is the operation manager. My wife is my partner.
Wow.
So ANC has been put in a way that if I'm no more there, ANC will continue. The only problem is that sometimes we don't have the support I think the government should give to Ghanaian entrepreneurs.
And I think we can talk about that. What forms of support and where should it be targeted in terms of helping your kind of establishments which are wholly owned by Ghanaians?
You know, when you go to places like Tokyo, like Japan, Malaysia, South Korea, the government makes a conscious effort to support homegrown businesses. I know, for example, that in Malaysia, I had a colleague who went there. You have a business plan. If the government believes in the business plan, they will support you, not that they will give you the money, but they will support you to get the money. But in Ghana, sometimes I feel that foreign businesses are accorded more privileges. For example, some of the malls, foreign malls, they got exemptions when they came. Whereas a Ghanaian mall, I didn't get that.
You would have to struggle just to put everything
up.
up.
So I think that if we really want the economy to be in the hands of Ghanaians, there have to be a conscious effort on the part of the government to support us in so many ways.
Do you fear in the future that may be the case, that indigenous companies may run out of business simply because there's no government support for them?
Yeah, and it's already happening because, for example, ask yourself, why is it that the first shopping mall was started by a Ghanaian, and since then, no other shopping mall belongs to a Ghanaian? That tells you something is wrong, you know? And one thing, sometimes the interest rates are very high. And some of these foreign companies, they don't take money here. They source money from outside, which is much cheaper. So if you're a Ghanaian company going for 30-40%, and you are competing with a foreign company which is getting 2-3% from outside, then already you are at a disadvantage. Right. So if in addition to this disadvantage, they come and get tax-free and tax rebate, 10 years and all that, it doesn't help. So the foreign companies seem to have all the advantages. They get cheaper loans, they get tax rebates and exemptions, etc., etc. So I think if the government, I don't mean this government, all governments so far have not really make a conscious decision. You know, I know that sometimes it is also our fault. Sometimes when our people take loan, they don't use it for the purpose, they misuse it and all that. But I think what I know, for example, in Malaysia is that when the government supports you, they appoint a project manager
to be with you,
to ensure that the funds are used for the purpose for which it was given.
A very insightful conversation it has been, Dr. Asamoah. And we need to go maybe briefly a message to all those who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs like you. You have a message for them? Brief one.
Oh, the only message I have is that it's not easy to do business, not only in Ghana, but in developing countries. Right. Because the economy is not stable. And things are changing so rapidly that you don't have control. Right. My advice is it's always better to go slowly, take care, go phase by phase, and don't rush to do everything at the same time.
Indeed. And that's the message from Dr. Asamoah to all of you who are aspiring to be business owners. And this has been the Pulse on the JoyNews channel. I'm Blessed Sogah. Do log on to myjoyonline.com. But for now, we're taking a break. We'll be back shortly. And isn't it amazing how every human being relates to art differently? Well, art, as we all know it, is a diverse range of human activity and resulting products that involves creative or imaginative talent expressive of technical proficiency, beauty, emotional power, or conceptual ideas. Of course, joining me now in studio is Tabby Cranesel, one of Ghana's best artists who aims to create positive impact on the society through art. Tabby is actually running an art exhibition in the gardens of the Labadi Beach Hotel, expected to end on the 31st of December. So, of course, you need to know all about him. And first of all, let's find out how he intends to impact society. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
And I see that you have very beautiful paintings. I'm sure this is just one of them.
Yes, this is just one
of them. So for our audience, I'm sure that they are curious. They would want to know how you want to influence society. So this is just one of your pieces, right?
Yes.
What's this speaking to?
For this very exhibition, I'm looking at human interactions and human behavior. And
so this is supposed to be, say, a football? I can see a football.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so probably before I even deeper, I'll just give a brief introduction. This is, I'm just trying to break away from the usual.
Okay.
What you see every day probably hasn't told the story the way it has to be told. And so for me, I'm just trying to redefine a few things. It is portraiture, and art is portraiture. Portraiture is when you see people whether it is in full figure or halfway.
But this is amazing, actually, I need to say.
And so for this one, the faces are different. There's one with a smaller eye and a bigger eye. For most of the paintings that you'll be seeing at the exhibition, the females have got eyeshadows like you've seen there.
Yes,
like
this.
And then with the lip gloss and lip shine. And the males are just plain.
Very normal looking.
Men are usually.
You're being biased here, but I'll forgive you for that one.
Yeah, and so in this painting, one will ask, why is the head going out of the canvas? That's one of my trademarks for this series. For me, our brains, our heads, the things that we hold our wisdom in should be limitless. The sky is not the limit. So it goes right through the roof.
Oh, and that's why there's no end in sight for that.
Thank you.
It just goes all
It just goes all out.
Yeah.
Then everybody must have two views. One has to be an introspective one. So the introspective eye is a smaller eye. So you can see there's a bigger eye and a smaller one. Here too, there's a bigger one and a smaller one. So every human must activate that part of their lives where you have one that is introspective. You don't have to listen to anybody to make your own decisions. It has to come from you. And so that is how come you need a smaller eye. The bigger one is to share with everybody. We are watching football, we are all shouting, it's a goal, blah, 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 but you have your own views, which is in the introspective side. Again, every human has got two sides. You've got a lighter side and a darker side, and it runs through all of us. For this painting, what I try to do is that I try to put, it's a football season. So you can see the lady is in the football jersey with the number 10.
Right. Yeah.
The guy is in number 7. But there's a reversal of roles. Normally in our society, the women rely on the lean on the men.
Yeah.
But what are we seeing now? It's the other way around.
You know what? Enough of this. If you are on the lookout for this, you just need to be at the Labadi Beach Hotel. This is philosophical.
Yes.
Is that what goes through you when you're putting up such works?
Yeah, for me, basically, art has to do with commenting. Every artist, your role is to comment on society, whatever you see, and then your interpretations are the things that you try to portray.
Right.
So sometimes you don't even really have to sit down to think hard to get a subject matter. It is all around us. So hunger, poverty, wealth, happiness, sickness, they are all part of the human institution. And so it must reflect daily when you try to capture.
Okay, and we know you are at the Labadi Beach from now till the 31st of December. How can people reach out to you and they could pass by, I guess?
Yes.
I'll leave you to talk to them briefly.
Yes, it's an open exhibition. Anybody at work can walk in. Right. It's running from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m. and it's in the garden.
Yeah.
And so you don't have the fear of the four walls. It is open. And you have the chance to also do your own painting if you so wish. In fact, that is one of the trademarks of my exhibitions, where families and friends are able to walk in, and then I give them the opportunity to make their own paintings right in the midst of the exhibition.
That's what's exciting about this, and we'll be there until the 31st of December. I'm grateful to Tavi Krenzel for joining us. And of course, be on the lookout. The excitement is on. Just be at the Labadi Beach Hotel and definitely you'll be a part of some of these creative pieces that you've seen. But that's all we have for you here on The Pulse. I am Blessed Sogah. You'll get more at myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching.